And you guys let me know if we have problems with the audio mix or the frame rate. Getting a little bit of stutter on my end. We'll see how it goes. We're gonna sandbox. Save 9. Extra Life 2017. Brought to you by Kerbal. Frame rates are attached choppy. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to try reducing it. Hold on a second. Well, tell you what. We'll see how terrible things are. It might be a little bit better here. Alright, space plane hangar. Yeah, we'll see how things go. Right now it's giving 23 frames per second, which I'm not exactly thrilled about. Yeah, you know what? Let's fidget with a couple things. And I'm sure frames aren't important to piloting spacecraft. You raise a good point. Okay. Gonna exit out of here quickly. We'll do just a little bit of juggling because I'd rather get things right at the start. So I just have to quit out of it. The stream is at 720p. To screen. Seems okay. Right now it's claiming 30. Alright, vehicle assembly building. So. Look at them cars. We'll see how things go. Alright, so mission 1 is to go to the moon. Or we can do min-miss. Min-miss is like a little bit more difficult. It's definitely harder to land on because it's so tiny. I thought there was a nice little command pod. Well, we'll see how the geometry works out. Wait a minute. There's no room for a parachute there. That's definitely designed for a space plane. Alright. Okay, orbitals. For thoughtful Kerbals to contemplate the beauty of the cosmos. Nice. My goodness. Alright, what we'll do is we'll do a Mark 1 command pod with a lander can. Alright, priorities, because I do forget things every once in a while. There's been some LPs where I've forgotten things. We don't need science. That can go below a decoupler, actually. Don't want to forget the parachute. Remote pilot assistance available. Oh, okay, so that's for like a probe. Cool. There's a bunch of stuff I've never really used before. Does the first one need to come back? Well, no, not really. We have to land someone on the moon. And then we gotta do our rescue mission. That's the plan. So the goal is to strand. Basically, I'm trying to see if I can atone for mistakes I've made before. The question is, I'll just type it in. Parachute. Seems a little large. Seems a little too large still. There we go. Just the right. And then we need a decoupler. Alright, the beginning of our rocket, everyone. Oh yeah, thermal, one thing. So, heat shields. Do we need those to successfully survive getting back in the atmosphere? They didn't have heat originally when I played the game a ton. I'm gonna assume the answer is yes, though. There we go. Perfect. With no atmosphere? Well, we gotta conduct some experiments first. And the parachute's light enough that I might never fix the problem. Oh man, I wonder if your ships can overheat in space now. Because overheating in space is a thing. It's a real problem. Alright, so fuel tanks. So here's our generic one. We're just going to do a quick test run with just this. Alright, it fits nicely. What's its story? Its ISP is nice and high. It's not exactly great. Alright. In your untitled spacecraft. Ooh, the volatile one. There we go. Save it. Alright, test launch 1, everybody. Don't we need things like legs? No, no, no. We gotta go baby steps. Alright, so let's get this thing throttled up. We don't have SAS. That's probably our first mistake. So if I were to just give it a little turn, it holds itself relatively steadily. And our frame rate is okay. Doesn't seem to have a ton of thrust though. Well, I guess we're going kind of quickly. Oh yeah, this is a huge problem, what I just did. So, if you eject a stage, it's just going how I left it, which is blasting its fuel full speed. So, you know, bad things could happen. We're also using electric charge. So I'm going to see Jebediah might die. Is mostly what I'm trying to say here. In a perfect world, we just run out of fuel. It's getting a little hard to keep it steady. The obvious solution is to make a Y-wing loading ship. Yeah. And we can click on this, I think, and see what its fuel is like. No? Alright. Volatile 1 debris. No, I'd like the nav ball, please. So that deployed the parachute. We're going to be flying up for a while, though. Nice ballistic trajectory for it. Alright, an informative first launch. We got it pretty high, though. What I don't understand is it appears that we're still accelerating. That's relative to space, perhaps. Alright. Revert flight. Pretty good. Too bad the parachute will burn away. Yeah, well, we need a drogue chute. Is that what you're getting at? There's certainly no shortage of things that could go wrong. Also, is it too bad? Where's command and control? There it was. Snap on, just a little something something to help us control. Alright, so this is going to get us the ability to launch up. No big deal. We're going to need more fuel. We're going to need probably more lift. So what I'm going to try to do is do a transfer orbit. So just orbit Kerbal, transfer to the moon, and then get back. And if we can do that, then we can deliver a lander. Well, I guess that's not necessarily true. That's the plan, though. So we're going to need a couple more things going on. I'm also not exactly convinced in, I don't know, the ability of that engine. This one would be better for atmosphere or vacuum, I believe. It'd also be better not for this. There we go. That was the rapier. Okay. Fascinating. Some mixed type engines. So yeah, this one is like what we want as a space engine. So what I'm going to experiment with next, whoops, not you. We need the small version of it, which is definitely not you. And definitely not you. There we go. Vacuum thrust slightly better. Its ISP in a vacuum is very high. Alright, but we're not going to want to launch with such a thing. So let's add a decoupler. Whoops. And now something to lift it up. Not making an air-to-space interceptor craft. Well, not yet anyway. We're going in baby steps. Some nice big fuel tanks. What engine are we going to put on it? We need something with a little bit of kick in the atmosphere. 265, 250. All right, let's try it. We're going to add a radial decoupler. Probably can only do 4 of them. Come on now, place yourself nicely. There we go. I think we evenly mounted it. You got to be careful with that sort of thing. Sometimes it's just not okay. Oh, we had it briefly. All right, get our engine on again. We'll do more of the same. There you are. We could do stuff to improve aerodynamics. I am gonna sneak on, I think, some reaction wheels. And we're gonna need some electrical stuff too. We'll get there momentarily. It's nice to have some batteries. Nice to have some solar. You typically don't need a ton. Oh, those are huge. We can just go with the little ones. All right. Command and control again. Sometimes I try putting reaction wheels on the boosters themselves. And again, we might need more boosters, but we'll get there. Put a little nose cone on it. It adds weight, but probably worth it. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing in this game. Didn't I do an insane craft with 32 boosters? Oh, easily. Easily. Alright, and we're gonna need some lights. What would that be under? Do we have like a utility category? There we are. The illuminator. Now we don't actually want them on this part of the ship, but oh, that won't do at all. There we are. Let's take it for a spin, shall we? All right, Jebediah, you ready to go? Get ready to throttle up. It's looking great. The good news is we don't have a spin or anything like that yet. And you know what? I think now's a good time for me to... Oh boy, this is heavy. Go turn a light on. Just walk away during the launch. It'll be fine. There we are. So, and before I forget to turn to the right, no, I know about the gravity turn. I think we might need to call this one here because this velocity This just won't do. Could strap more boosters onto it. But we've got quite a bit of weight. Alright, let's just see how the different stages work together, though. There we go. So we'll drop you off. So I'm not hearing a rocket. There we go. We are technically gaining altitude, so we're accelerating again. That's nice to know. Without the weight of those, we're okay. Little atomic engine now. Going pretty well. I think it's probably fine that we're dropping, you know, all that debris on Kerbal Space Command. We're sinking right now, but that's totally fine. So we're just going to turn a little bit. We'll put a little parachute out. That'll probably work out. All right. I'm gonna revert the flight back to the vehicle assembly, see what we can do. So we need way the heck more lift. So we actually had okay propulsion at one brief moment. Come on now, you're the one I want to click. Put you over here. There we are. We're going to go up to level 6 symmetry. I think that might be what we need. We'll see. More lift with less mass? Oh no, we gotta be able to lift. We gotta be able to lift a lander, so we can't just keep having less mass on this thing. That's more like it. I guess I'll turn on the SAS. Alright. Things are looking okay. There's a tiny yellow engine. You should replace the nuke with that. Okay. Although I like the idea of having nuclear fuel. Let's see what we're dealing with here. We're getting a little bit of velocity, which is nice. Not quite centered, that's fine though, I don't mind one bit. And you know what would be good right now? Turning on the lights. Because at some point those are going to be doing... That's going to be our landing gear, basically. Approaching a really good time for a gravity turn. So let's get that on. I'm a little worried Sometimes you lose control as you start to turn. Alright, we can keep turning more now. Keep it going. Yeah, the atmosphere is starting to pull us into a more aerodynamic pointing or direction. Well, this is going better so far. You see, the real challenge is going to come when we need to take something that has cargo capacity. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right then. Alright, let's check our little orbital plotter. A little bit more. Periapsis at an acceptable distance. Yeah, I'm just going to start the burn now, because it's basically splitting it. So we'll see if we can actually burn for 2 minutes here. Liquid fuel is at 7.1. How much fuel do you have in you? Please tell me these are going to be full though. Yeah, alright. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, Jeb's having a good time. Everything's going pretty well. Things are coming up, Jeb. Our G-force is acceptable. Hasn't killed the pilot yet. Just gonna try cutting that. You get a little bit more efficiency if you do your maneuvers at the apoapsis in this situation. And just out of curiosity, now that we're in space, like we'll have momentum but pretty good maneuverability. 39 seconds, okay. How do we speed up time again? We need more speed. Alright, anyone in the chat remember? Yeah, I think we're going to run out of fuel, although this is the one that's supposed to carry us most of the difference. I have heard from people, well, I don't know, a couple people involved with space programs. Like, one of them is just like the ex-KCD guy, but that Kerbal is... it gets the gist of things really accurately. Like, the details not so much, but it's also not about taking that. Like, it uses Newtonian physics, for example. Well, you're going to lose some of the accuracy you need in a simulation there. But the gist of it is learning how, you know, how orbital dynamics work, for example. It's really good at that. Okay. what is the shortcut to speed up? There we go. Greater than and less than signs. Alright, time to rock. We only need to burn for a little bit. We might actually still have some fuel left after. There's the moon, and there's Minmus way out there. Oh, I guess I should start paying attention. Alright, that's when we lost. The good news is I think that'll put it into a decaying orbit. Yeah, perfect. It'll crash. So we can end this stage. Looking good. Looking great. That should be a stable orbit. All right. Nice orbit. Now our next goal is to transfer to the moon. Do we have enough fuel for that? I think so. We'll find out. No, it's going to be orbiting. Oh, no, that does get us an encounter. Can we get a better encounter? Let's just scratch that entirely. Ugh. Close it. There we go. Let's try this one more time. Add a maneuver. The elliptical is a little bit off. Whoops. There we go. No, I don't like the way that's going. Nope. What if we push it to the other extreme? Launches us into space forever. Alright, this is actually pretty good. The estimated burn. I think it just must be calculating that incorrectly. There's a real solar system mod. You don't really need to do too much changing to get it. I mean, the Kerbal solar system is based pretty closely off of ours. You know, Duna is pretty clearly Mars. Kerbin's very clearly Earth. The catch is, like, Kerbin is actually a lot smaller than Earth. Truth be told, if you can orbit Earth, you're actually in a pretty good spot for exploring the entire solar system. It's one of the harder planets to orbit, you know, of your rocky options. But even a gas giant, you could float. You could float partway, assuming you wouldn't die. It's a big assumption. let's zip. 26, 25. Working our way around nicely. All right, are we close? I don't really know what it's going to take for us to get... Okay, the estimated burn is 2 minutes. We kind of overshot that, but that's okay. We're dropping liquid fuel at 1.53. We are going to have lots of fuel. Let's see how our electric charge holds up if we turn the lighting on. Got lots of sunlight. So we're staying nice and charged. That could also just be from the engines running, but that's okay. Behold, it slowly grows. Also, awesome story from from viewer using the jetpack on a Kerbal to get a ship stranded in orbit into a landing position. Good on you. Halfway, lots of fuel. This ship definitely there's going to be some points of concern. Originally, I was thinking we would take a lander. It's going to be quite delicate. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, though. Actually, just going to cut the thrusters here. We're going to try to correct this maneuver a little bit. Yeah, do it this way instead. Just because we'd gotten... Yeah, the timing was so rough that we'd gotten a little off course. And yeah, we're doing Kerbal. It's going to be alternating between peaceful and tense. Oh, there it is, baby. Because Lancer's going to be coming up after. Well, I guess that might be some of the same as well. I'm very excited about it, though. So that's a tabletop game with Y Caliber based on giant mechs. I'm very pumped about it. Alright, let's time warp. We should get slower as we get closer. Fine, I'm going to slow it down just so we can get... There we go. Time to a maneuver. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Alright, we're officially orbiting the moon on an escape vector. That's a good thing. The jump between the 100x and the 1000x time warp is always a bit worrying. This isn't a lander, don't worry, it doesn't have landing gear, but you can totally land without landing gear, by the way. False advertising. I've almost done it. Actually, and I have landed without crashing. Or like without it exploding. I mean, it crashed, but it didn't explode. Alright, we overshot a little bit. It shouldn't be that big a deal. Look at that blue thing curve. Look at its curves, baby. Oh my goodness, so many of my landers land on their sides. Alright. And now we've achieved orbit. So, oh goodness, that orbit is, or that maneuver is definitely not the one we want. Okay, let's just see if we can get back to Kerbal nicely. Oh, we've got one more pesky maneuver floating around there. There we go. All right, we very quickly enter Kerbal's gravitational pull. That's fine. I don't know what that means. All right, we're just going to time accelerate. 5 hours till our next maneuver. 2, 1. Try to get pointed in the right direction again. So this is our nice, safe, scientific experiment. We haven't actually survived re-entry yet either. So we're also testing that out. The actual big re-entry we're going to have is going to be super difficult. Look at it go. All the way back to Kerbal. It's a little confusing what's going on here. Alright, we broke free. There's our periapsis, so things are looking really good. There's our pear sauce. Oh no, we're having a little trouble getting away from the moon. Didn't exactly... You know what, let's just kill a little bit of time in our orbit here. Get a little separation from the moon. It'll help. There we go. And we'll just do it from here. This will cause us more problems at landing time, but that doesn't sound like my problem. Sounds like my Kerbal's problem. All right. Three, two, one. Oh, shoot. We're a little bit past it. I'm sure we can make do with that, though. That's close enough. All right. Overshot by a little. Not terrible, though. This is actually where we want to thrust, even though the maneuver target is there. And just get rid of that, and we're just looking for the moment. We're good. We just want it to intersect Kerbal. Also, we don't have a drogue chute. That could be, now that I think about it, an issue. Alright. Now we just wait a little bit till we get nice and close. So we're basically just actually stationary relative to Kerbal and just in free fall. We barely have any velocity. We're playing a dangerous game right now, by the way. Alright, where's Kerbal? I mean, it says we're in orbit, but it's a little misleading. Let's try that so it could admit that we're not in orbit anymore. I never said, oh no, we have to land with everybody. So this is our test run, and then after that, yeah, we got to do some missions with surviving. Kerbal is easy if people can die. The hard thing is living. Alright, everybody. Moment of Truth Part 1, maybe? There's Kerbal, isn't she beautiful? That big blue marble. See, I wish I could figure out, like, the planet's rotational velocity. We're on the dark side, so I think with our engines not running, our lights would drain stuff. That's a potential problem. Landing on the night side of things is really bad. So, you know, don't do this. What I should have done is establish a proper transfer orbit, but we're going for broke here. And that orbit will do. All right, altitude 2 million, or 2,000 kilometers really, not that much. 1,000. Starting to fall kind of quickly. So I don't really know what we're doing and coming in hot. Well, yeah. Yeah, we are. Not gonna lie, this is an area where I wouldn't consider myself a rocket scientist. Alright. Well, we have a heat shield. What do you think it can handle? Seeing, like, this is what I'm not sure. When's the right time to start trying to slow us down? 300 kilometers. We're gonna start getting atmosphere kind of soon. Just out of curiosity. Okay, our electric charge is holding. The lights may help at this point. Alright, a recovery vehicle is indeed just a parachute, a heat shield, and a capsule. Okay, I'm gonna try to kill off some of our speed here. Really wish it would stop considering us in orbit. Yeah, I know we're getting close to the atmosphere. I want to kind of burn off a lot of our fuel before then, because I'm worried about what's going to happen. And we do have the heat shield, but like I don't want other parts to explode. See, for example, that I'm using rocket fuel right now concerns me. Come on, heat shield. Why are we slowing down so slowly? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh my goodness, my hands are sweating. Oh no. Okay, it's all good. Thank you, sweet thick atmosphere. We might need a drogue chute. I don't know when we're gonna hit the ground. I'm deploying. We're only going 1,000 kilometers an hour. Oh boy. That gauge, it got real red. I think that's water. That's fine. That'll help us cool down, right? That's how science works. That also means, so it's a big deal if you know what surface you're landing on. Because you might say, okay, we're going to hit the ground at 0. But the problem is the ocean is at 0. If you land on a mountain, it's a lot higher. You probably didn't even need a heat shield for that re-entry. Well, forgive me if I keep putting one on anyway. Look at that. Falling at 6 meters per second-ish. It's not bad. For point of reference, I can run faster than that. Yeah, we're not even lying when we say everything went according to plan and no one died. Alright, we got 40 seconds. That's about 10 at this speed. Now about 5. And bloop. There it is. Where's the end of flight? I don't want to like direct connection to Space Center. How do I recover you now? Everything's good. Yeah, I guess we go to the tracking station. Oh, it appeared? Just from here, I want to see where the recover button is. Just go over the top where the altitude is. Okay. Oh, there it is. All right. We had every goal accomplished, which I was expecting because everything goes right in this game all the time. Yeah, ready for assignment. My goodness. Okay. So we have a decent degree of confidence in that. So our first mission is going to be to drop Jeb off somehow. So, let's open it up, shall we? Where's the volatile one? So we could just try putting landing gear on this. I do think we're gonna need... No, you know what? Let's try staging in an actual lander. I think that's the way we gotta do it. Alright, let's have a vote in the chat actually. Do we convert this into a lander, or do we build one? And while we wait, this is all to raise money for the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation. And we're doing this through Extra Life. Putting on this stream. Donations, so the goal I had this year was $2,000. I still haven't donated yet, so I'm holding out because I am secretly going to donate money per dead Kerbal. And I owe 20 bucks already. But we are at, for my personal target, we're 70% of the way there, 1,400 out of 2,000. So thank you to everybody who has donated. Link is on the page if you want to donate. This one will need some work. Cigar cigarette designs are fairly terrible at landing. I see you build a new one. Okay, first swap the nuke. Just kidding, it's right here. Just kidding. Where is our little nuke engine? It's right there, isn't it? I gotta reach the decoupler somehow. Alright, let's check out this little yellow engine. That's a solid booster, you can't mean that one. This one? Is this the little yellow one? So this is a thruster, that's like an ion engine. Which means it's not going to take fuel and oxidizer. Could be this guy. ISP. There's a final stage and landing engine. It's ISP's okay, 345 in a vacuum. That's pretty good. And our atomic one, 800 in a vacuum. Why would I use the Terrier over this one? Got a better ISP on this. I don't know, I'm waiting to be convinced, chat. Oh wait, you want to look? Yeah. $345. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, thrust, 13.875 kilonewtons. Okay, it's got more thrust. That's what it's got going for it. Yeah. Weighs 3 tons. Versus... Alright, okay, we'll try it. And don't worry, we're not going to bother testing it. The show must go on. Yeah, alright. Yeah, having more high power thrust would be nice. It would be nice to have. It would make me feel better. Alright, and now that I'm thinking about things a little bit, since the volatile one doesn't have to come back now, we're just going to convert thisy here into a lander, I think. We won't need that. That's only going to be for launch, really. So we're gonna, and we don't need the parachute. All right. What do we need? I like having propellant. Where's our monopropellant? No, we can do better than that. Monopropellant, then we can put some thrusters on there momentarily. It's under command and control, possibly? Yeah, there we go. All right. So that's important thing one. Yeah, I wonder if we can bring it down entirely with propellant. The answer is probably. Which means we need landing gear. Probably use the lighter ones. Alright. Think it's gonna work? No, really. Do you think it's gonna work? Yeah, you know what? Let's go with something a little more solid. We'll go with the traditional landing strut. I'm more comfortable with that, and it gives us a little bit of room because we need room for solar. Where are we here? We don't want to block the entrance. That's a potential problem. Also, you know what? We might have to downgrade to triple symmetry here. Oh, goodness. What am I doing? Because our landing gear was blocking our own ladder. And that can become a real thing. Okay, so our photovoltaic cells. I'm going to center those a little bit better. Or position them anyway. Alright, jackpot. And we will need some batteries. Just the little tiny ones will do. And then the last big thing is we need a ladder, probably. You know what? Here's what we'll do. Dump you over there. Get rid of those batteries entirely. Put that there. You can have a ladder that drops down. The mobility enhancer. We can use a ring battery though. I'll put it on top. Not like that. Not that one. I guess it is going to be this little one. Wonder if that's going to mess up our aerodynamism. I'm sure it will be fine. Alright, and the last thing we're gonna need, which I almost forgot, we're gonna need these lights. Space is pretty tight. And the illuminator is definitely the one you want, by the way. Well, they could be asymmetric. That could cause us problems. I'm not going to worry about it. The landing gear can retract. Don't you worry. It'll retract, probably. Alright, and the thrusters. I was about to say, what did I take off again? Command and control. Yeah, these thrusters are going to be really important. Alright, it's not going to win any beauty contests. Ever. But let's try it out. Alright folks, place your bets right now. Don't worry about that wobbling. Beep. Alright. It's gonna explode? It's not gonna explode. It might explode. Gonna have some important improvements though from last time. And I have faith in it's gonna work. Wager 100, get Dave points. All right. Now I might throttle back just a little bit. Usually you start getting some drag around 300 meters per second. This isn't coming back. We're landing. And we'll go get Jeb later. Start initiating the gravity turn now. That might have been a bit premature. Not exactly sure what happened there. I'm gonna keep going. Everything's fine. Let's reinitiate that gravity turn now, shall we? We don't cancel this mission for any reason, got it? I think there's a staging problem. Alright, let's reset the staging. You fire, get released. You fire, get released. You fire. Yeah, I think the staging was just messed up. Let's try it one more time. Right, and then we go down on propellant. And make sure you land during the day, Dave. Make sure you land during the day. No, the whole ship didn't explode. We're calling that one neutral. There was an explosion. It's a bit different. Oh yeah, we should retract the landing gear, I guess. Come on now. Try that one more time. Oh no, this is still... Well, I guess this might be the volatile too. Things are going well, things are looking good. You can see we're getting some air resistance now. Throttle back, there we go. Now we'll do the gravity turn. This is probably later, but based on what happened last time, yep, there's a problem. Let's just see where we're at. All right. Okay, it's pretty stable when we orient it this way. Just gonna spend some of my propellant trying to spin it right now. And we gotta start throttling it up quickly. We're just gonna go till there's a lot less atmosphere, I think. That'll make me happier. These things are mostly just to lift us into space, so we'll let them do what they were born to do. Alright, a little bit of a hiccup, don't you worry. There's a lot less atmosphere now, so we should be able to get away with. A bit more of a gravity turn now. Maneuver, punch it. All the way. We need crazy delta V. Alright, this is going just fine. Less according to the plan than last time. It's weird that just adding a whole bunch of weight to the top of the rocket could make it less useful, less stable. Starting to think this rocket might have a hard time getting to the moon. We're gonna have to dump that one to get there. That's okay though, we'll bail a lot of weight when that happens. It's slowly starting to happen. Losing 7 fuel, so we've got a mere 7 seconds left. That's okay, that'll get us close. And we have better ISP on the last one. Well, let's just see. Yeah, our apoapsis moved quite a bit. What the heck is going... Oh, that's the old one. Abolish. Periapsis, and that's lots. We only need to do a 30-second burn, and then we have a really stable orbit. So I'd say things are going just fantastic. Thank you for not doubting. Can you donate all of your good Dave points to the charity? If you do, I'll donate $10 more. Alright, welcome to orbit, everybody. I think we're officially home free. Yep. There we go. A totally stable orbit. Not sarcastic. And it's probably not going to be there. What if we... We should just pick a different spot. There we go. We're going to have a moon rendezvous there. And that'll do. 2, 1, 0, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Getting very close. Let's get our orientation correct here. There we are. Throw away just a little bit of time, and jackpot. Okay, minus 1.6, which means we have like... Uh-oh. Oh no. This will be interesting. Don't worry, folks. So we're not going to have quite enough fuel. It's going to be super close, though. So to burn for a minute... Oh, no, wait. No, my math's totally wrong. We're great. We're doing great. I wish they would have a little thing doing your delta V calculation up there. That'd be really nice, because they give the units in delta V down here. But anyway. Okay, so yeah, to burn for a minute at 1.6, that's like 100 fuel. We're going to do just fine. Yeah, I was thinking the meters per second was the burn time, but we're good. There. Let's get rid of the maneuver now. I regret that decision already. All right. Oh my goodness, we have very close to a bullseye. Okay, we gotta wait a day to get there. Our day's only 6 hours in Kerbal? Oh well. Alright, this will actually do. We've already had our encounter. Slam on the brakes. Alright. Honestly, this is pretty close to a bullseye. So that's quite nice. Alright, the first great challenge. Here we go, folks. This is going to put us into an orbit. And then we wait for daytime. All right. Make sure we are on the day side of the moon by a healthy amount. There it is. We're just going to wait a little bit. There we go. That looks a lot easier to hit. If you have any advice, now's the time. Advice on how to properly land a rocket. I mostly do the eyeball test. Don't crash the rocket. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Don't explode. A lot of really good advice. A lot of comedians. Thank you. Look how slow we are going. We're not going to need these for a little bit yet, but forget what the purple one means. Seems useful though. What I'm looking for is a retrograde. Let's just wait for our altitude to drop off a little bit, shall we? Oh goodness, that was terrifying. The advice will be 50 get Dave points. You can have it. It's a lot less dayside than I thought. I also didn't really check to make sure. What sort of delta V? We can hit the brakes pretty hard. So I also don't exactly remember the commands for, or the controls for RCS, so that'll be interesting. Okay, we're gonna Fell back. We're very close to being stationary relative to the ground, which is a good thing. Okay, so at this rate, we're going to hit the ground in about 60 seconds. If our electric charge starts to go down, we're in big trouble. Oh no, we might already be in big trouble. We're on the pace to hit the ground in 30 seconds. Just going to add a little bit more thrust to try killing our speed as much as possible. Just going to rotate the camera and make sure, yeah, we are thrusting in the right direction, no less. Did I forget a decoupler? No, looks like we got one left. Okay, we're falling at a mere 200 kilometers an hour right now. 11 kilometers of elevation. Switch to surface speed rather than orbit speed. I don't know how to do that. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Jeb's pumped. He's having a good day. I think we are very close to being locked down, to be honest. So what you want is, relative to the surface, you want that little yellow crosshair. That's our retrograde thrust. You want that to be right dead vertical. So we're pretty close to having an even landing. Okay. Now we have the awkward bit where, like, you know, I want to get to the surface. So I want to fall faster so I can actually get there. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. Is the decoupler damaged? Oh no. This is our lander, folks. This is the lander. It's okay. Yep, we don't have a decoupler. That was the one thing we forgot. We're okay, we're okay. We're okay, we're okay. Not now, not now. We're also not landing on a flat surface. Jeb can remove the thing manually when we are down. Yeah! Yeah, when we get there. Exactly. Got a little bit of a drift. Success! Yeah, we did think the stabilizer was a decoupler. Great success, everybody. Great success. Jeb lives. Yasarian lives. Alright. Well, okay, which one of y'all in the chat was like, it's not a success until he comes alive? Alright, technically yes, but there was a good chance he was not going to come back alive 1 minute ago. Now, which one of you was saying that the cigar-style landers don't work? 'Cause I beg to differ. We also might be able to use these to actually stand it right side up again. That was me. Aleph, look at this beauty. Look at this horizontal cigar. Apparently he can manually detach it? I don't know. I'm just so happy. Whee! Bunk. Oh, he might roll for a bit. I've had them roll pretty far downhill before. Yay! I'm on the moon! So yeah, we could go explore that. Alright. Part 2. Oh, you just said it. Oh, that's too bad. Okay. Back to the Space Center. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. In part 2, we build the rescue craft. Because he might have a hard time getting home in that. So what we need to do is build something that can go there, pick him up, and then come back. And that's going to be something I've never done before. So, very excited. So we have a problem. We have to rescue someone on the moon. And that's going to require a new spacecraft. We also are going to need... I really want to do it via a lander that rendezvous in orbit. This is like... Well, maybe it doesn't have to rendezvous, but we're going to need at least a lander can for 2. You just put on the Apollo 13 soundtrack. I like the symbolism. Alright, and how do you design a lander? I do like to do things with propellant. Could probably take a bigger one than that. And there we go. Does this thing have great re-entry abilities is the question, because we also need to survive on the way back. Actually, yeah. Let's scratch that. We are going to do the separate lander. And we're doing the big one. So Mark 1 command pod. And we'll need a 2-person lander. Let's just hope we don't need a parachute or a drogue chute. Here's the XL. And we want a decoupler there. That's the little one. Oops. Tiny one. Rocco Max, that's our boy. Alright, apparently we don't need a heat shield, so that might be okay. And how do you reattach a lander? If we retrieve the Kerbal... Oh no, they have to get back to Kerbin, and we have to recover the flight. Like, this is no joke. This is the most difficult thing I'm attempting in my life. But a space rendezvous is probably enough. Yeah, at first I was thinking we need a way to reattach the lander. But I don't think that's necessarily the case. But we're going to need some fuel to carry it back home after. So we're going to need a tank and then a super high ISP engine. Kerbodyne. Holy cow, that's huge. Look at these things. Where's my normal middle size of fuel tank is the question. Again, I'm not going to do propellant quite yet. So this is going to be like the very last thing. There we go. There's the Rockomax stuff. Wonder if we can get away with a little bit less though. What's our best ISP giant engine is the question. Oh, Killer Comma, did you miss what happened to you in FTL? You had what can only be considered a bad death. 4200 ISP. Yeah, that's not going to have enough propulsion though. The Poodle. So the mainsails are good lifters. Yeah, the Poodle it is. Alright, so this is going to get us back to Kerbin. The other catch is I probably should have something to stabilize it in there. Command and control. Alright. Hopefully that's enough. Alright. Next. My goodness, I never remember the right ones. There we go. Rockomax. Alright, now we're going to have a lander. And it needs to be two-person because we need to fit one person in and then have another one to pilot it on the way down. This is so complicated. I love it. Whoops. It's not the best mounting I've ever seen. Okay, and the lander needs quite a bit going for it. Question is, what does it need to take off again? Do we think it can take off with just that? Strut. The L2 landing strut is pretty big. We'll try going with that one. What else do we need? We need light. Oh, I should rotate those. We need good source of light. We need energy. You can actually get away with not having a battery pack if it's daytime and you've got good power flow. We might try that, just to save some weight. Oh, never mind. They don't weigh anything. They can explode, but that's alright. Also, to not interfere, I'm going to put it on top of the stack. There we go. I like the options that might give us. Alright, lighting. Alright, we mostly got away with our slightly off-centered lights, so we'll do that as well. And then we need solar. Pretty good. And those ones suck up a ton of electricity, so we're good. Ladder. Drop a couple of these. Our mobility enhancers. Alright, just give us a larger target to grip onto. I don't know if we need more than that for our lander. It also needs to take off, so that's going to need... And this is pretty heavy. We don't have our thrusters mounted yet either. Probably going to need some. Go right above the solar panels. There's a spot there. Technically that would hit the landing gear, but I'm not going to worry about such details. And you know what? 4 thrusters might be just enough. Let's take a look at fuel tanks again and see if there's a really tiny Rockomax one we can fit in there. Will it fit? Is it worth it? Alright, do you think it's... that's not very much fuel it's going to be carrying. I'm just worried that... Yeah, and it's going to inhibit the effectiveness of the thrusters. We're just going to carry more thrusters. And hope it's enough to lift it off. I'm a little worried about having them misaligned. We'll try putting them on the right on the electrical right there. Also, there can be some problems with having all your thrusters like on the top. We'll see, we'll see. Are the legs supposed to be deployed from the start? No. Yeah, we can just have them start like that. And I don't think they'll hit. I don't think they'll scrape off any of our stuff. We can hope anyway. Alright, so all of this needs to be lifted up and needs to travel to the moon. This is just for the return. This thing's gonna be so heavy. Alright, decoupler. Alright, now we need the heavy lifters. So this needs to take us to the moon. Also, I wonder if we're going to need SAS on our lander. I'm going to hope not, because that's what we're going with. And now we need our biggest, strongest engine, which I think is the mainsail. I generally don't care for it, but we'll try it. Kind of prefer the skipper. Mainsail has way more thrust and almost as good ISP. We'll go with it. The Moonlander seems awfully large. Well, I don't know how much more we can strip it down. It's only 2 segments. Like, it's gonna detach right here. So it's these 3 stacks. I think it's pretty stubby. However, I'm not exactly an expert. Alright, we'll get some radial decouplers. Can we get 8? That looks like trouble. Let's try a slightly longer decoupler. They can have their own problems associated with them, but I really think I'm going to need all the lifters I can get for this absurdly expensive rocket. Look, it's a rescue mission. We're not here to joke around. This is a video game. It is not about playing around. It is serious business. Come on. Ever so gently. Still too much. Alright, we're just going to go with the closer decouplers and we're going to drop it down to 6, unfortunately. The radial decoupler, like this one, is quite a bit stronger in terms of how much it wobbles. Alright, and it looks like they just barely fit. I'm going to space tape that right now. Structural. There we go. Command and control. Get some nice stabilization on that. Some nice big heavy nose cones. Where are you? Where's my Rocco Max nose cone? This'll end well. I wonder if it'll even lift off. This is a really heavy piece of work. Also, do we have a really good ISP option here? Talking about internet service. Yeah, this is the one that needs to carry us to the moon, so we actually, it's more important we get high ISP out of it. Isn't there a larger version of the Terrier, I guess is where I'm going with this? I think it's just the Poodle. which means we'll also basically need fuel pipes. All right, we need a name, chat. What is this? Big money, big prizes. I'm not calling it that. The long shot. I like that a lot. Alright. Welcome to the long shot, everybody. This is just going to be a little test run. The one shot. I also like Pinata. Alright, Bill and Bob Kerman. Alright, this looks good. Oh, but those mainsails. You know, it's not as big as I thought. I've heard that before. We're doing pretty well. We're actually having some drag issues, which is pretty rewarding. So I mean, this is slaughtering our efficiency. We're still accelerating at an absurd rate. This is a good problem to have. It'd be nice if the atmosphere thinned out a little bit for me. Who else do we have? Bill Kerman, Bob Kerman. Oh, that's it. Oh no, and Valentina Kerman. You know what? We might just go for it. Close. Close. And... alright. So that orbit was collapsing, by the way, just because we're still falling, or we're still slowing down due to air resistance. So let's get this thing turned. It's pretty cumbersome. Yeah, I think we're just going to go for it now. At first I thought I was going to have to leave a Kerbal behind, but we're actually going to have a nice, snug ship if we play all our cards correctly. I didn't even do a gravity turn properly, but that might have been for the best. Yeah, we have a decent amount of main stage fuel left, no less. I mean, we don't even know if our moon lander can take off. But that's okay. That still counts. Burn 43 seconds if we're at a decent enough altitude. I guess I'll wait just a little bit still. Alright, throttle up. Let's do this. The Delta V we're capable of with this. Now, I also probably should have done fuel transfer pipes leading to the main tank so we could carry more with us, but that's okay, we'll get there. we're gonna have a problem shortly, but we're also gonna cut some weight. I think we just had a major staging problem. Yeah, we have a major staging problem. Let's just revert the flight at this point. Vehicle assembly. And all that fuel wasn't wasted. And there we go. Alright, just a little bit of tinkering. We could have recovered that pretty easily still, so... because we just needed to fall back down. Alright, I consider those Kerbals are not dead. We could have landed. Now, if they get stranded on the moon or in orbit forever, that I would call a death. So what went wrong? There we go. That's better. But I also want this activating right at the start, just for the added lift. Although we didn't need it. Let's just reset. We didn't need the extra thrust. And the ISP of that engine's terrible in atmosphere. Yeah, this is a really basic system, but I actually feel okay about it. Do you think we should add just a few more lifters? Solid fuel booster. It's got pretty good thrust. We're gonna add some solid fuel boosters just for a little extra oomph. And we're going hydraulic on this one. We want to kick them off nice and hard. Alright, there's our solid boosters. Go structural, we're going to be nice and careful. Use our space tape. Are these even mounted on the decouplers correctly? I'm not entirely convinced. We'll say it's fine. Alright, we'll get some nose cones on there. And we'll do... just a little SAS, just because I really don't want to have this thing have an incident. Please let me click it. Please, game. Maybe if I click the geometry from below or above? Okay, what if I just go to launch? Is it gonna like, hey, you should clean up these loose pieces? They might tilt inward. Can you use multiple mounting points? That is an interesting question. No, we're not even gonna try it. Back to vehicle assembly. Let's just see if we can drop our nose cone, just to be nice and safe. There we go. Save it. Alright, let's do this, folks. I think the space tape will hold them in place nicely enough. I mean, I consider myself 45% certain. This is good. pretty heavy. Alright, well there's only one solution. Actually, the simplest solution is just to drop these guys to fire earlier. Let's try that. I think it'll work. Clearly it needs more thrusters. Well, I'm a little worried. But the mainsails actually lifted it pretty effectively, so let's try this. Yeah, there we go. Like nothing. So we're just going to slow down our throttle a little bit because we are doing quite well. Never marveled at it. Throttle up just a little bit. Okay, no. We had it in the sweet spot. We are experiencing a little bit of lag, so you can't just gauge by how fast this is going. We can see the air resistance, though. We don't want too much of that. Once we cross over into other levels of the atmosphere. And we can't throttle back these solid boosters, by the way. I'm only throttling back the liquid engines. Yeah, blasting straight to the moon is not a terrible idea. Works better than you might think. Also, are we getting a bit of a tilt, or is that just my imagination? Just waiting for the solid fuel to run out. We can probably gravity turn now, though. Well, no. The apoapsis is where we want it, but don't worry, this is fine. Anyone know what exploded? There was that little popping sound. I think that was just us flaming out. That was actually pretty close to a disaster. Not gonna lie. Everything is okay. That vibration is normal. The rocket is kind of upside down is also not a big deal. There we go. Let's try to let the SAS fix that for us. We seriously overshot things, but there are worse problems to have. What's interesting is I don't think we got any more fuel out of that. Let's have a little bit of eccentricity in our orbit. Just going to get us back in line with the plane. Otherwise we could have some trouble later on. We only need a 25-second burn, though. That's nice. This is going well. Remember, we haven't used any of the fuel in the central tank yet. So that's actually a pretty sweet situation to be in. There we go. And now we wait. Wait until we get into 12 seconds-ish. Actually, I'm gonna go now, because some things can go wrong, because we're gonna run out of liquid fuel, I think, before that happens. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, now it's a 4-minute burn. That's okay, though. So I actually should have started that way back when, but let's just see what we're dealing with here. Burning 6 a second, so that's going to be 360 a minute. We need to do it for 5 minutes. So that's 1,000. Okay, we'll still have some fuel left once we get a stable orbit. Alright, we can't speed up while the ship's under acceleration. So this is reasonably efficient. Can we turn the lights on? No, G is for landing gear. Makes sense. There you go. And technically, we don't burn electric charge because we've got thrust going. We get a little bit of power from that. And if you're wondering if it's time to panic, the answer is yeah. This is slightly concerning. This is a planned pickup mission. The previous mission was a pretty great success. I'm just going to tilt us onto this trajectory instead. I think it might work better for us. And I'm just going to try to help our Delta V by burning through some of our monopropellant. And yes, we don't know if it'll be enough to lift off the lander. We could have mathed to figure it out. Alright, there's still lots of monopropellant. Look at how slow this is. I think we just might need a little bit more kick once we get to this point. I mean, the previous rocket also might have been vastly superior. It's weird, we added all that thrust and nothing really worked out. Yeah, we're already on the way back down. I don't know, folks. Our ability to change our velocity, our acceleration is just too terrible. Although, once we burn through all this fuel, it'll get a lot lighter. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll try it. I don't like that we're already so far on the way down, though. But you know what? It's a way of getting a gravity assist. That's all we need. This is terrible. Okay. We have a stable orbit. That will do. Not a fan of this ship, but that's okay. Where's the moon? Have to pull it around a little. Oh, there it was. All right, what's the delta V for that? 2.5 minute burn. That's not the end of the world. For this clumsy piece of junk. This has to get us all the way to the moon. It might just barely. Also, now I am realizing a problem. We definitely committed a mistake. I was still supposed to leave a Kerbal behind on the launch pad. So Bob's gonna go EVA. He's got a nice stable orbit, he'll be okay. We can come pick him up later. No, we'll get Bob. He'll be fine. Alright, and now we just go back to the tracking station. Yes, I did fail to send enough seats. I forgot. I thought they could sit on the rocket on the way back, but that's not the case. Because I thought the lander would reattach, and then I forgot I changed my mind about that later. Okay, do we still have our maneuver planned? Perfect. It's coming up in 12 minutes. Bill and Valentina are feeling fine. All right. We'll speed up time to get to our maneuvering point again. This feels suspiciously like slamming into Kerbal. Line it up right there-ish. Because this is where it's going to be. The little blue target's going to meet us, I think. And time to go. We are actually picking up speed. Alright, we got to keep this up for for 150 seconds. Yeah, we'll just have enough. This is going to be tight, but it should be enough to get us very close to the moon. Burning as hard as we can. Send up the second mission. No, it's gonna be okay. Bob's gonna be okay. Probably. I mean, we also have to have the lander rendezvous. Yeah. I'm gonna regret not having a lot more fuel. And honestly, the lack of propulsion is being a little bit of a problem, but we'll get there, we'll get there. And by there I mean the moon. And by we I mean a different group of astronauts. It is painful how slow that is expanding. Like, we could launch a second rocket faster this. He will start to expand faster, though. Okay, 1 minute left. Okay, so that'll leave us with about 500 fuel or so. 550. And we've burned through 180 monopropellant as well, which is a potentially huge problem for the record. How is it that close? Look at it go. Never again. We're taking like 6 of these. 6 of these engines next time. I don't care if it's going to make it a little bit less efficient. Because right now we're losing efficiency on our inability to take advantage of being at the extreme ends. Alright, see you, Xandar. You turncoat. Right at the moment of truth. Alright, there it is. There. I didn't like which side of the planet we were crossing on. It was going to give us a little bit of trouble. Or of the planetary body, anyway. Okay. Now we do the time warp. There goes Bob. He's doing fine. Never better. We are actually still on the wrong side of the moon. Let's just see here. There we go. That ought to do it. Just a little 3-second burn. Just turn the ship. We can see it. Some very delicate work. Perfect. Look how close we're gonna get. Honestly, if we didn't have to make a return journey, you know? What an interesting thought. Let's try to hold it really steady here. Alright, Bill Kerman. Engineer, pilot. Alright, well. Bill, we're sending you down. He's got to get down into the lander can now. No, this is not one of the more difficult things we're going to do. Okay, let go. very delicately. Where is the door? Just gonna very slowly orbit it. There it is. He's having a good time. How do we turn him, though, is the question. Bob, I need you to turn. This problem is getting a little out of hand. There we go. You just have to press space. And now we're going to try to grab that. Very delicately. And yes, we do get to do this more than once. Ooh, we'll just back up. We'll just back up. This is such an anxiety-inducing procedure. All right, please grab it. F. All right, and forward. All right, everybody, that went off without a hitch. Also, did we go past the moon in that time? No, we have lots of time. Alright, I'm going to try the warp here button, even though it terrifies me. Okay. Whoa! Slow down time! I like how it doesn't stop it once you get there. Alright, this is the moment. We gotta clamp on the brakes as hard as we can. 30-second burn. We might be able to do this. Actually, an elliptical orbit might be a little easier for us to work with. Okay, we'll assume the posture. Warp to the location. All is well. We're like barely moving. The moon's gravity is just slowly pulling us back. Okay. 2, 1, 0. gun it. I feel like I split that one pretty evenly. If we overshoot, by the way, we're in big trouble. Now we have a couple problems we get to deal with. I'll get to them in a second, but we actually have to land where our other Kerbals are. Worried about Valentina's sanity? Oh, they're all crazy. It's a crazy world. Okay, that's probably enough. I'm just going to cut it. Yeah, we've established an orbit. That's the most important thing. And now... I'm going to try to clean this up. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, we're not going to cross the plane there. Alright. That's flatter. We'll go with that. We just really want to have a nice clean orbit. For reasons. All the sloppiness. The sloppiness of our piloting earlier on in the launch is coming back to haunt us now. Oh wait, then that node isn't for a while. We'll just warp. We're very close, everyone, to just all manner of trouble. But it'll be good. It'll be a good time. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Just in the nick of time. Okay. So at this point, we can clean it up on one other axis. I think that's going to be the best we can do. And it's super important. Two, 1, 0. That's such a small burn. There we go. Within 0.2, I don't think I could have done much better than that. Okay. Now, make a very difficult decision. But it's time. All right, back to the Space Center. Valentina's arc. How much money did Dave's program have left? Not great. Oh yeah, where's our vehicle tracking? Alright, the long shot lander. Let's do this, folks. With only monopropellant, and we don't know if it's going to generate any lift. Alright. If we turn on the lights, do we drain the battery? No, that's a good sign. This is such a suicide mission. Alright, let's just turn the lights off quickly. And we gotta wait until we are roughly above where that lander went down. You're not gonna let me add one? Cannot add control locked. Game, it would really help if you would let me do that. Well, we'll get there when we get there. For now, we're actually at a decent risk of ramming into something. So we're just gonna do yeah, it all has to be done with thrust. All right. That's good. Our trajectory is nice and clean now. I'm not sure why it says control locked, but anyway, we'll just have to loop around and try our best. Maybe it's because we don't have any proper propulsion. I think. Here we go. Let's just scrap that and try one more time here. Go retrograde. Now this looks close. We don't know that that's where we're actually going to land, but let's try it. This thing is very responsive, I'll give it that. Okay, we'll get the lights on because we have daylight. Might as well try making our lives easier. Seven minutes, folks. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And actually, let's just start a little experiment right now. I'm going to have to start burning right now. Okay, we're burning through 0.85 monopropellant per second. It's going to be difficult. It's not a 12-day burn. That's based on it not having anything. So we have to actually do the math ourselves here. We're getting around 1 a second, so it's almost draining all of our stees. Also, I'm actually going to start a timer here. So let's get the timer going. Because I need to know exactly how much we can change it in 1 second. So when we hit 340, I'm going to time it until we hit 320. Okay, here we go. I think we're in big trouble. We're very close to being in big trouble anyway. Okay, we're... so we're changing at about 1 meter per second. And we have to do 300 meters per second, and we got 535. So that's not going to leave me very much to slow my fall. You think we're in big trouble. But you know what? Because we need to land right on that pinpoint. I wish we could transfer monopropellant. How are they getting back off the moon? With the monopropellant, that's the problem. Although, we have one other option. If you strand anyone else on the moon, do you have to rescue them too? Absolutely we do. Man, we gotta do this for another 4 minutes. This has been a painful experience. As a matter of fact, no, we're landing. We have to now. And we have to pull off a rendezvous, although we can use the other vehicle for the rendezvous. Just where is that going to put us? If I can even be in the same crater, that would help a lot. Like how everything I do is increasing the size of that. Oh goodness. You can see it slowly coming in. For the 10 days of Christmas episodes just to perform the rescues. Yep. Everybody familiar with the little old lady who swallowed a fly? Just want to make sure. See, and there's Valentina. She's doing just fine, cruising along. So we learned a couple valuable things. Well, that's the little old lady who swallowed a fly. That's what we're doing with Kerbals right now. Why'd you send that one to the moon? To get the other one that was stuck on the moon. Okay, so we've got basically 300 propellant left. All right. Yeah, we're setting up a moon colony inadvertently. I think we are going to hit pretty close to where it is, though. Like, it's not terrible. That's nice and surgically close. And then we just have to land on the moon, which always goes well. We're going to do one quick experiment. Yeah, we have a couple options open to us for getting these Kerbals in orbit. Just going to switch to a truer retrograde here. this pin forms. It's getting a little messed up because our orbital speed is still going on. Scott Manley, where are you when I need you most? Oh goodness, it's so sensitive. I'll have to turn off the RCS for a minute. Alright, just a very little bit of thrust. Alright. That's as much as I'm going to chance right now, but we're basically about to fall. And we are falling now. But we actually hit nearly perfect zero velocity relative to the moon, which is pretty cool. Alright, test one. We're going to do some science now, folks. I'm not sure why my electric charge drained there briefly. Oh, SAS is running. Okay, we can indeed arrest our fall, but not very effectively. Yeah, I should have maybe gotten a tighter orbit for lots of reasons. Oh goodness. I think I've killed us. Don't they have a few more? Oh no, they're all firing, all 8 of them. So I'm pretty sure we're dead. If you look at how quickly we're decelerating. We do have one emergency option though. So 400 meters per second, 60,000. That's 4 divided by 600. We have 150 seconds to stop. We're not going to make it. Oh, you got this. Nope, Bill's dead. There is one last desperate option. Yeah, I did use the dreaded time warp. We just can't get enough thrust. Actually, there's one other thing we could try doing. Just jump out. Yeah, we are going to try that. We are going to try. Yeah, we're not getting anywhere near the slowdown we need. So we're going to crash in 100 seconds now. Alright, it's time. Let go, Bill. And we're going to watch his fuel very closely. Yeah, the amount of thrust we have is definitely the problem. Alright, Bill has an outside chance of making it, though. Anyone want to guess at his acceleration? If he's doing 2 meters per second squared, that might be enough. And we're reasonably close to his friend. Might even be able to see the icon on the surface somewhere. Probably more underneath still. Okay, we have 2 minutes left of thrust. Oh, all of this is going to be very tight and probably not going to end well. I can't see the lander anymore. What an agonizing way to die this would be, hey? Just all the time in the world to contemplate. To contemplate everything. What's our velocity? Are we still decelerating? Barely. And the gravity's getting a little stronger as we get closer. Don't worry about that sound. So I'm hammering 2 thrusters now to try getting a little bit more out of it. It looks like he's not falling very fast, but trust me, he is. Oh. Here it comes, folks. Goodbye, Bill. Well, there's $50. All right. Well, now we have a different problem. All right. The funny thing is, I think Jebediah might be able to rendezvous. All right, let's see if we can make do with our original lander, which is just a beautiful spacecraft. Board it. Alright, everyone. There's a decent amount of fuel left, and we have a ton of monopropellant. Not that way. Not that way. I've tried this sort of thing before without much success. Nope, cut the throttle, cut the throttle. It's not working. No! It's going well. I was so close. Oh, the way the cockpit. Cool, let's check out the tracking station. Alright, that's 100. Maybe we can get, is that Bob? Maybe we can get Bob back. To answer your question, is a rescue mission needed anymore? Oh yeah, we still got problems. I'm a little afraid that if I hit the staging button, I'm just going to activate this. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so we have two problems. We have to get back to Kerbal. Alright, 3 hours. 2, 1, 0. Shoot. Close enough. Perfect timing isn't a big deal in space maneuvers, right? Yeah, I think Bob made the wisest choice of them all. Okay, how are we doing for liquid fuel? This is all the fuel on the ship now, so we don't need to expand that. Alright, this is going to be pretty much all of it. It's not a great situation to be in. It's not great. So we have... yeah, we'll have about a minute's worth of fuel left over. See, this is the acceleration we needed on the moon landing. So, more so than following the maneuver, we are trying to get our orbital arc to match his pretty closely. Without screwing up our periapsis as well. Okay. Now, problem next, we're on opposite sides of the planet. That does not sort itself out quickly. Okay, it looks like our best bet is to try catching up with him. So you want to have an interior orbit for that, I think. Three minutes, we do a nice little 3-second burn. 400 that he makes it. Well, it's definitely going to be tight. This was an ambitious mission. We didn't actually spend that much time designing the spacecraft, and the one that launched actually might have been worse than the one that hit the abort. Because even the design flaw we had that led to the abort on the other one, that actually with a little bit of careful clicking could have been a non-issue. Oh, because we're so low. Yeah, it's definitely not working. We're gonna go retrograde. Oh, I don't know anymore. 2.1 fuel. Yeah, it's just not gonna work. Here's what we're gonna try to do. We're just gonna deorbit them. It's gone on long enough. Where's retrograde? Man, I thought this would be over like an hour ago. But you've all seen me get obsessed before. Kerbals can survive unprotected re-entry. Well, I mean, with a parachute. Felix Baumgartner did it. And I also just want to unset the target. I think he's just doomed to be in here forever. Wait. There's the moon mocking us. Alright, if we go retrograde, that might do it. It's not letting me thrust with him anymore. Well, let's just switch to the long shot momentarily. Let's see if we can deorbit it. It's at apoapsis. It's a perfect time. Yep, that should be enough. There we go. We're gonna switch. Well, no, we'll see if Valentina can do it. Fine, we'll switch to Bob and see if we can actually deorbit him. If not, I mean, we can always try rescuing him some other time. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research, though. There, the RCS is properly back on now. All right. He might be able to do it. Let's just take a quick look. Yep, he's deorbited himself. So we'll watch him die in a fiery inferno in a moment. We just gotta switch back to the one that has a chance of making it. Well, you know what? Don't need that anymore. There we go. And I'm just going to turn retrograde. I'm not sure if it helps, but also just got to be very careful that we don't lose all of our electric charge due to SAS. Alright, we're officially on re-entry now, folks. Let's see if Valentina can do it. She's actually doing a good job having not too much of a velocity right now. This is a pretty slow fall. We got lots of stuff to work with. Altitude's getting a little low. Also, we're landing at night. It's a small point of concern. There's the rest of the ship, by the way. It's not quite slowing down the same way. It's always interesting to track and see when they explode. We'll see if we can observe the flash. Also, yeah, we don't have a heat shield there. That's just... Man, 2 empty chairs in there. Not really sure when the best time to deploy the parachute would be. Oh, it won't let me. Getting a little worried. It didn't seem to rip off. Don't like that we're still speeding up though. We've got time though. We're probably going to land in the ocean. I don't see any continents on the horizon. We should see them by now, so... And we're just about to smash in at Mach 6 right now. It could be a point of concern. Come on. Come on. It's gonna open. It's gonna open, right? Did it get damaged? I'm panicking. I didn't want all of them to die. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, so this is relative to the target. I was freaking out for no reason. Yeah, we're good, because it's really going like 3 meters a second here, or 6. See if I click this. Yeah. Crashing at a mere 40 kilometers an hour, 35. See, nothing to worry about. Five, four, three, two, one.